I'm back for more Savings Challenge book adventures. I'm going to put about $100 into The Life of a Creator, another $100 into Happy Hallowealth, and $76 into Paint by Sticker so that we can finish the Cairo poster. Are you ready? Let's go. Welcome back to Ready, Budget, Go. My name is Drew, and around here we talk about household budgeting, saving money, and achieving our financial goals. So if any of those sound like an interest of yours, I'd love it if you'd consider subscribing, hit the like button, and leave me a comment down below. So I'm going to start with The Life of a Creator this week. This is the Savings Challenge book that I've been working the longest in. I have added a couple more challenges to it, and the way that I've played some of these has prolonged my time to getting this book completed, which is just fine with me. I have big savings goals for the year that I've talked about in some other videos. Currently, I am working on the big move, which is my plan to move to another state. And for that, I think I need about $15,000. So I am still pretty far away from that goal, but every week I get a little bit closer, and this week will be no exception. So without further ado, let's dive into the book and let's see what we can do. So I'm going to go all the way to the back to the Booty Bank Challenge. This is where we left off last week, and it is also where we always start. So when we start, I am going to go for the biggest number, so that is going to be $25. And when we come around to it naturally, I go for the next smallest number, and it looks like there's only one left, so that'll be $21 the next time we're here. But for now, I'm going to cross off the $25, and I will save that amount. And the reason that I've been doing it this way is because there are 41 really, because the number here got missed, but 41 different spots to save and some really big numbers. So I always want to make sure that I hit this one first so that I get the biggest numbers off the board. Okay, so now let's go back to the front. And the first challenge that we still have anything left to do on is Kiss My Hiney. This is by Shannon at 307 Design Studio. Excuse me. And we are putting kiss stickers all over Georgette, which of course I didn't take out. I'm using a different binder now. This used to be one of the letterbox binders, and if you want to know why this is no longer a letterbox binder, go back and watch my video from this past Saturday where I explain everything. But now this houses the envelope that has the save money in it, as well as the stickers for Georgette. So I'm just going to take that out, and we will put another sticker on Georgette. And I think we are going to go, let's see, how about right on her tuchus, almost the undercarriage here. So I'm going to take 5 back, and we'll put in a 10. All right. Next challenge is the Birds and the Bees. And this is a collab within a collab. This is by Mischief Managed Budgets and Champagne's Corner. And I am just going around the board. I've kind of given up rolling a die. So the next one that I have to do is this one. So I'm going to save $1 and cross this off. And we've got 2 more left to do, which will be one in Wren's Aviary and another in the Dice Hive. But for now, I will just save the $1 and we will move on to the next challenge. So next up is 25 to Thrive. This is a habit tracker challenge, and I don't really use habit trackers, so I decided that the habit that I was going to track is that every time that I come to this page, I check off another cloud and save $5. So that is what I will do here. And we're almost done with this one. We're almost done with most of these, to be honest. So I think it'll be this week and maybe one more week we can squeeze out of it, but we're getting really close to the end. Excuse me. Okay, the next challenge, and this is one that I have stuck in here because I already completed this Laura Bell Creations challenge. So this is one that comes with the book. It's a freebie, and I've decided I'm rolling a d20. When you order this book from Marlene at Snowgardener 307, you get a set of dice with it, and I didn't get mine out, so I'll get them out now. You get a d4, a d6, a d8, 2 d10s, a d12, and a d20. And I need a d20 for this one. So that is this one, and I'm just going to roll it right here on the board. Let me actually close this up for a sec. We'll do it this way. And we got 17. So it'll be 17 going in. So 5 plus 17 is 22. Okay. So 22, and actually I can swap the two 20s and a 10 for a 50. So I'm going to do that. So we're more than halfway there already. And then I just need to write in 17. If I can find that pen that I was using. Stand by one moment, please. It's around here somewhere, but I'm not seeing it, so I will use lavender. And I will write in 17 here. Okay. So that's this one done, and we might get back to it, who knows. So I'll leave the pen not too far out of reach. Up next, we've got the $50 dice roll, and we've got two more left to do on this. This is by pinkycloth.co. And so the way that I did this is that I would roll a d6, and every time I got one of these numbers, I would cross that off. And when those were full, I started using the roll one time or roll two times one. So I've got two more rolls left. So let me get out the d6. Okay, and we'll give it a roll. And we got a 4. So I'm just going to write in here 4. Okay. I will take one back and put in a 5. And we'll move on to the next challenge. We finished this one. And now we're on the Rock and Roll Queen. So we finished the D20, we finished the D8, we finished the D6, which I did not cross off. You do that here. So now all that's left are the D4s. So let me get out our D4. When you order this from Marlene, you do not get to pick the color of the dice. It's a random grab, so I got these black ones. And I rolled a 3. So I will record that. I can kind of see it there. It's a bit dark. And I will put back 7 and take out 10. So we're at $60 saved out of 100. Okay. Up next is my challenge. This is Buster's Bangin' Burger Bar. And at Buster's Bangin' Burger Bar, you can have any topping that you want, but you have to pay for it. So if you want the topping on the burger, you save $1. If you don't want it on the burger, you cross it out and save $3 for wasting the food. So if you want it on your burger, you color it in, save $1. You don't want it, cross it out, save $3. So this is an onion, and I do like onions on my burger, so I'm going to make this a yellow onion. So we'll just color this in here. And over here. And it should have a brown stem, but I don't have the brown marker handy, so it's going to have a yellow stem as well, or a root. Okay. And I'm going to save $1 for the delicious onion. And we'll move on to the next challenge. So we completed those. We completed the word search, so now we're on Janelle Ray Budgets, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice rolls left. This one is also a D20, and I selected a D20. You can roll whichever die you want. Okay, so we got 10, so I will take 10 back and put in a 20. And I think I might see that marker. Yep, there it is. Found it. So we'll do 10 here. We've rolled 10 quite a few times for this one. So we'll set this marker here, put the purple away, and we'll move on from here. Okay, so now we're back to the booty bank. So we are going to do the final $21. So 20 and a 1. Well, I put a 1 back and grab a 2. So that puts us at 98. So we have only $8 left to save. And this challenge is finished. So I am going to grab a challenge completed sticker. And I will stick it on here. I should have had these already out, but I don't. There they are. You can get these challenge completed stickers from my Etsy shop if you're interested. A link is down in the description. Okay, so I am going to stick this sticker. Let's see, let's do it right here, right on the swap. Okay, so I'm going to take this paper clip off so we know we don't have to start there anymore, and we are back to the front. So we're back to Georgette. We're going to do another $5 on Georgette, and that leaves us with one $5 sticker after this one. So I think we will go right above her eye. Come on, you. Right there. And we'll save $5. So we're at 97, so $3 left to save. Now we have the birds and the bees. And so here we are doing the bird, which is Wren's Aviary. So it says roll the included D12 to determine your next move or amount saved. So let me get the D12 out. There it is. Roll right here, and we got an 8. So it says sum of 2 rolls, any dice. Well, since I only have $3 left to save, I am going to roll any dice. So I have to use more than one. So I'm going to use the D4 and the D6. Let's see how we do. Okay, so we got a 3 and a 4. So that is going to be 7. So I'm just going to take out a 5 and a 2. It'll put me over, but that's okay, only by $4. And I am going to cross off that bird. So we've only got one more challenge on this challenge, and then this is done. So exciting stuff. So next week, like I say, we should finish the book. If it is a case where I get to $100 and I'm not done, but I only have a few left, I'm just going to finish it. But for now, let's go to the next challenge, which will be the 25 to Thrive. And I will put the clip on it. Okay. Yeah, that D20, I mean, if I roll high numbers, we might get one more week out of it. We'll see. Okay, let me find the cover here. And then I will get out the binder. We'll put all the dice away. Okay, we'll put the pens away. We'll put the paperclip away. Those are about to go crash into the floor. All right. So I am not going to come back and condense at the end. I will just do the condensing right now. So I have a mess. All right. 50, 50. Oh, goodness. This money is so hard to pick up, this prop money. 5s, another 5. Come on. Oh, the struggle is real. It's like it's glued in there. There we go. All right. And then the 2s and a 1. So we have 2,000, 500, 550, 600, 620, 40, 5, 50, 5, 57, 59, 60. 2,660. So I am going to keep 50, and I'm going to put all of this. So this is going to be 110, 50, 70, 90, 100, and 5, 7, 9, 10. Yep, so I'm going to grab 10, and I will grab a Barracuda 100. So let me put all this away first. And then, out of that same pouch, or the same bag, which I put away and now do not know where it is. There it is. No, middle section. Here comes the Barracuda. All right. So 2,660 into the life of a creator. Your mileage on this book will vary greatly if you choose to purchase it from Marlene and play it. There are dice rolls. There are games that can be played multiple different ways. The Booty Bank, there's a low budget version to do that. Liz has put in some suggestions for how to make that more affordable. So don't be intimidated by how much I'm saving or the numbers that I'm putting in, because you can adapt it to be whatever suits your own budget. So that's it for the life of a creator this week. Let me get out Happy Hallowealth, and we'll do that book next. All right, now we're into Happy Hallowealth. And this book is brand new, and it's available on my Etsy shop. It is optionally available with 3 spooky dice, where the 1 is replaced with a skull. The rest of the faces are the same as standard. So you need 3d6 dice to play it for some of the challenges. You will get also a sticker sheet that has the stickers that you will need for certain other challenges. So what I'm doing with this book is I'm just going through it in order until I save $100 or just over that, and that's it for the week. So let me also get out my scratch tool, which I have put somewhere. There it is, because there are several scratch challenges in here as well. So let's open it up to the front and let's get started. I'm just going to set these in here. So first up, we have Black Cat Witch Hat. And in this game, you scratch to reveal a symbol, and when you get 3 in a row, you save $10. Every symbol you uncover is a $5 save. So let's roll a couple dice, and let's roll all 3 dice and see which one we're going to save, because we have, or scratch, because we have quite a few left. So 4, 4, 2, so number 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So right here. And under this one, we have a hat. Okay. So I'm going to save $10, or $5 rather, because it's not a 3 in a row yet, but I did scratch a symbol. And I'll clean this up. And we'll move on to the next challenge. Okay, so up next is Double Double Toil and Trouble. And in this one, you roll 1d6 die, and if the number rolled is even, you save that amount. But if you roll an odd number, you save double the amount. So let's roll 1d6 die. And we got a 1. So we are going to save $2. Because it's odd, we're going to double it. So we'll write in a 2. And we'll take out a 2. And we'll move on to the next challenge. Next is Goin' Batty. And this is one of the sticker challenges. So we've got our stickers here. And I am going to do one of these bats. There's 4 different styles of bat. So I'm going to do this one. And we'll put this bat over here in the tree. Okay, and for that bat, we will also save $5. So I will put 5 back and take out a 10. There's 20 bat stickers in total, so it's a $100 challenge. Next is Graveyard Shift, and this challenge is another scratch and save. So you just uncover a headstone, and then it tells you how much to save. So I'm going to roll all 3d6 dice, and we've got a 6, a 3, and a 2, so number 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So right down here. And this one says, here lies 5. So we'll save $5. Okay, so we're up to 17 so far. Next is the Haunted House Heist. And this one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 scratch-offs left. So I'm going to roll 2d6. And we got a 1 and a 3, so number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll go right here in the middle. This is a $75 challenge, so the numbers are bigger because there aren't that many of them. And sure enough, we got a 15. So I will clean this up. Take that 5 back, put in a 20. So just like that, we're up to $32 toward our $100 goal for this book. Next is Mummy Money. Now, Mummy Money has a lot of instructions, but once you play it, you'll get the hang of it. It says, get your D6. It's time to wrap up some savings. For each row, you must first obtain embalming fluid by rolling a 1 or a 2, then bandages by rolling a 3 or a 4, and finally a sarcophagus by rolling a 5 or a 6. You must go in order. For every correct roll, save the amount on the die. For every bad roll, save another $1. So we're going to use 1d6 die rather, excuse me. So first we need to roll a 1 or a 2, and every bad roll we add another $1. So we got a 2 right off the bat. So I'm going to circle the 2 so that we know we're saving $2. And no bad rolls. So now we're looking for a 3 or a 4. And we got a 4. Terrific. So another one with no bad rolls. Now we need a 5 or a 6 for the sarcophagus. We got a 2, so that's 1 bad roll. another 2, so 2 bad rolls, and a 5. So we're going to save $5 here, and we had 2 bad rolls. So now we're going to add it up and save. So we've got 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 5 is 11, plus 2 is 13. So we did better than we did last time, and we'll save $13. 10. Actually, I'm not going to pull out a 10. I am going to put back 12 and take out 25. Because 12 plus 13 is 25, right? Okay. It's 25. So we're at $45, almost halfway to our goal. Now it's time for Pumpkin Chunkin'. And Pumpkin Chunkin' is a scratch-off challenge, and there are these various symbols, and it tells you how many of them there are and how much each is worth. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 places left. So I'm going to roll 2d6 dice. And we got number 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So right here. And it looks like we've got a whole pumpkin. And that is going to be $2. So I'll clean this off. And we'll save $2. And we'll move on to the next challenge. Now it's time for Raving About Savin', and this is another sticker challenge. So the way that I typically do sticker challenges is I go for the highest number first when there's different numbers on them. So the highest number of the ravens left is 14. So I'm going to take this sticker, and I am going to put this raven right up here. Okay. So I'm going to take, let's see. I'm going to put back 7 and grab 21. 21. And I could grab a 50, but I'm okay with the 3 20s. So next is Roll the Bones. So this is another roll and save challenge, obviously. It says it's time to test your luck. Roll 3d6 dice and save $1 for each throw until you roll either a 7 or a 13. Record your results on the opposite page. If you roll a 7 or a 13 on the first roll, save $5. Give it a go and scare up some savings. So I need my third spooky die. And let's see how many rolls it takes to get a 7 or a 13. So we got 13 right off the bat. So we are going to save $5. Record the 5, take out a 5, and we'll move on to the next challenge. Okay, now we're doing Surf the Webs, and this is just a progression challenge. It goes one up through 10, and then back down to 1. And so you save $100 altogether. So I am on spot number 2, so we'll cross out the 2, and we'll save $2, and we will move on. Okay. Up next is Trick or Treat. And this is where you scratch a circle to uncover either a trick or a treat. So if you find a piece of candy, it's your lucky day, and you just save $1. But if you find poison, which I did last week, roll a d6 die and save double what you roll to obtain an antidote. Happy haunting. So let's roll, we got quite a few here, so let's roll all 3 d6 dice. And that gave me a 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to go right here. And hopefully it's not poison. Oh, sure enough, it's more poison. Okay. So now I need to roll a d6 die and save double the amount. So we'll take 2 out. We'll roll 1 of them. And of course we get a 6. All right, so we're going to save $12. So I am going to take 43. Actually, I'm going to take 48. Because 48 plus 12 is 60. So I will grab a 50 and a 10. 50 and a 10. So just like that, we're up to $80 saved. So $20 left. We've got one more challenge in the book, and that is Which Witch. This is a scratch to match. So we're just scratching symbols. Each one that we scratch is $5, and then when we make a match, it's another $5. So I'm going to roll all 3d6 dice to tell me which spot to scratch, which witch to scratch. I didn't get all 3 of them rolled. One of them I just threw down. So we've got 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll go right here. Okay, so this symbol does not match the one that we scratched last week. So we will save $5 for this witch, and then we will move on. All right, so we're 85, and we are going back to the front of the book. Now we're back to Black Cat Witch Hat, and once again, I'm going to roll all 3 d6 dice. And we've got 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll scratch right here. We aren't going to make 3 in a row, but we've got another witch hat. So if this is another witch hat, then when we scratch it, we will save $5 for the scratch and $10 for 3 in a row. I don't remember if it is or not. Once I put the stickers on, I forget entirely what's where. So, all right, so I'm going to put back 15 and grab a 20. So we have $10 left to save. Next up is Double Double Toil and Trouble. So we're going to roll 1d6 die. If it's even, we'll save the amount. If it's odd, we'll double it. And we got another 1. So we're going to save $2 again. That seems to be the theme for this one. And next is Going Batty. So another $5 bat. And I will use the 4th style of bat for this challenge. And I'll put this one down here next to this tree. Another $5. So we've got $3 left to save. If we go over, that's totally fine. Up next is the Graveyard Shift. So I'm going to roll all 3 d6 dice to tell me which one to scratch. We've got number 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think we rolled 11 last time. And this one will save us $8. Okay, so we're going to be a little bit over on this one by, looks like, $5. So I'll put back a 2 and grab a 10, and I will condense all of this in just a minute. First, I'm going to clean this page up, close up the book, and next week I'll just start back at the beginning like I've been doing. So let me set this to the side. I'll set the dice to the side. Just so you know, the dice are in limited quantity. I was only able to get so many sets, and several of them have already gone. So if you're interested in the book and the dice, now is a great time. I cannot sell the dice by themselves. I want to make sure that those who buy the book and want the dice have the opportunity to get them for as long as they last. Okay, so back to the binder. And we're putting in 105. So last week we had 102. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that 5 in. I'm going to put all of this back. 50, the 220s, and the 10. And then I will grab out another Barracuda $100 placeholder. The Sea Life placeholders are also available on my Etsy shop. If you like them, link down in the description. They are sturdy and durable. They will last you forever. They're printed on high quality, thick like cardstock, but they're professionally printed. And they will fit in A6 zippered envelopes, but I mostly use A5s. All right, so that's it for that one. So up next, we are doing the paint by sticker. And for this one, let me set this down here. For this one, I decided I was going to do an envelope tracker. I'm not stuffing it just because there's really no point in doing that. But I am putting in the amount every week for what I do for this. And I already know this is going to be $76 because there are 188 stickers for the Cairo sheet. And I've been doing $100 each week, $2 per sticker at 50. And so the last one would be the remaining $76. So let me get that book out and I'll start putting in the stickers and I'll tell you a little bit more about my history with money. And fair warning, it's a sad chapter, but it is part of my story, so I'm going to share it. This week's segment is going to be a bit shorter because I have fewer stickers to place this time around. I've been doing about 50 stickers a week and saving $2 for each one, but this poster has 188 total stickers. And so I'm only going to be putting down about 38 this time and saving $76. So this one will be a little bit shorter. And before I delve into it, I also want to give a little bit of a warning that this video deals with some difficult topics. And I've had some comments kind of along those lines about, how difficult things have been. And I just want to make sure that I mention that I don't think my life has been any harder than anyone else's. And certainly, um, there's a lot of people in the world who are a lot worse off than I am. The reason why I'm sharing so many of the more difficult parts of my life is because those are the things that have formed the money habits that put me into the position that I got myself in. So I'm focusing on those, but I've also had a lot of joy in my life. There have been low lows, but there have also been high highs, and there have also been years that just passed like any other year. So I just want to make sure that I state that because everybody has rough patches that they go through, and I'm skipping a lot of years. Excuse me, in telling my story here, just because those years didn't have, as far as I remember, much of an impact on how my attitude toward money and my habits toward money evolved. Um, so last week we kind of left off in the aftermath of the Great Recession. I talked about finishing college. I talked about getting sick, and the medical bill hangover that followed from that, and the position that I was in 2009. So another thing happened in 2009, and that was that my mother's cancer returned. So I had mentioned in a previous video that she was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2000, which is the same year that I graduated high school. In fact, her diagnosis came within months of my graduation. And so her cancer came back in 2009. It was breast cancer. The first time it was in the ducts, and this time it was in the lymph nodes. So still in the breast tissue, but just a different part of her body. So I have a couple of PSAs in this episode, and the first one is that the reason her first diagnosis was later than it could have been is because she did not realize that she had a lump. And the reason she didn't realize it is because she used a loofah sponge in the shower. And she caught the lump because one day the loofah sponge was in the washing machine when she needed to take a shower, so she used a washcloth and then found the lump. And by then it had grown to a pretty good size. So the PSA is, if you are one of the people who uses a loofah sponge, make sure that you're doing your self-examinations and pay special attention to that, to doing that, because you don't want to miss something that could need attention from a medical professional. So that's my first PSA. So back to 2009, she developed symptoms. It was something in her elbow that just didn't feel right and was painful and swelling. So she went to the doctor and was incorrectly diagnosed with tendonitis at first. And they asked her if she played tennis. So by that point, she was, how old was she? She was 59? No, 2009, she would have been 64. 64. So a 64-year-old woman, overweight, knee problems, joint problems, hip problems, not a tennis player. But they diagnosed her with tendonitis and tennis elbow anyway. Um, and I just laugh because of the absurdity of it. So she got a second opinion, and they referred her back to oncology, and that's when they did additional screening and found the cancer in the lymph nodes. So, 2009, I had already moved back home, and now I decided to stay because I needed to see her through this bout with cancer. So she had a second surgery. She had more radiation. She had more tamoxifen. She had more of everything but chemo. But they told her that if she had another occurrence, that she could not have any more radiation because she was at the limit of what the body could have. Um, this move back home is a big part of why I want to do the big move, which I've talked about in some of my other videos, where I am planning on moving to another state. I have always lived within 50 miles of where I was born. And a big part of that is because in my adult life, when I wanted to go explore and, see the world, I have what I call the wanderlust gene. And I get that from my mother. She was born in California, raised mostly in California, but she finished high school in Nevada, then moved to Oregon, then Alaska, before finally settling here in the state of Washington. And I never got to do that. I felt I couldn't leave home. I was, the only child from a broken home, and my mom needed a lot of care. So there was some guilt that came along with that. But I, even when I moved out from home, I didn't go far, and I was always right there. And I moved back when she needed me. So, realistically, though, by the time 2009 rolled around, it was more her living with me than me living with her. I out earned her by that point. Um, I was the primary person responsible for the bills. So the shoe was on another foot. My dreams, I always put them on hold, and I still had tons of debt when I moved back home. So there was also financial considerations. I had the debt hangover from college and medical expenses and just everything else that was a life back then. And at that point, I was making good money. So we're in 2009. I was probably making around somewhere between $45,000 and $50,000 a year for back then. Not too bad for somebody my age. But my debt was more than my annual gross salary. So I was severely behind from where I should have been. And both in terms of my saving, my retirement savings, just my whole financial picture was really bad. I still had a negative net worth at the age of 27. So while I was living with her, while she was living with me, we did spend a lot of time together. She really liked to play bingo. And so we did that pretty much every weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And bingo is an expensive hobby, especially when you're paying for two people to play. So if I was short of money, she would buy me in. If I was more flush than she was, I would buy her in. Usually that was the case. Excuse me, but we would both go. And of course, because we were out of the house, we were eating meals out. So that was another expense. And yeah, sometimes with bingo you win, but most of the time you don't. And it was fun. I enjoyed spending time with her and playing bingo and all of that. But at the same time, in terms of my life, I was kind of treading water. So, I wasn't really doing anything to evolve my career. Of course, the economy was still shaky. My job was not secure. And gambling was probably the last thing that I should have been doing. But I wanted to spend more time with my mom. And she was dealing with a lot. Obviously, the second cancer diagnosis was difficult for her. So she just needed that care, that time. And I was happy to give that to her. So that carried on for a few years, and the economy got better, and I got promoted. And in fact, I remember the day that I was finally promoted to a salaried position. We went and played bingo to celebrate. And at that point, I was making, so this would have been 2011, and I was making $63,000 a year. and I thought I had arrived. Um, I was proud of myself for hanging in, for finishing college, for finally getting that promotion that I'd been promised all those years prior. Because if you listen to my last episode, you know that the reason why I went back to school to finish my bachelor's is because my boss told me I wouldn't be promoted again unless I had a bachelor's degree. So I went and got a humanities degree, even though I didn't work in the humanities. I worked in tech or the sciences or engineering or one of those areas. But I had that degree. I had that all important piece of paper that my generation was told was our ticket to a good life. And for me, that certainly was the case. Nowadays, we know that's not really true anymore. But back then, um, that was the key to getting me to where I wanted to go, at least as far as earnings, if not for my actual career path. So things continued on, more or less the same for a few years. My mom's cancer treatment seemed to be successful, so she was declared cancer free once again. And then in 2013, over Mother's Day weekend, she had a heart attack. And this is where my second PSA comes in. So if you don't know, women have heart attacks different from men. They have entirely different symptoms. And if you don't know what they are, if you don't know what the symptoms are, they are really easy to miss. And that is what happened with Mom. And I carry guilt with me to this day, even though I didn't know. I just did not know. And so she was in cardiac arrest, and I had no idea. She had no idea. So her symptoms were, she said she had what felt like heartburn, but it was in her neck. And she kept popping antacids and she just couldn't get rid of it. So one day, it was the Friday of Mother's Day weekend, she was on her way to bingo, and she just decided to stop in at urgent care because she hadn't been able to shake that heartburn feeling in her neck. And so she told the admissions desk or the reception desk what was going on, and they saw her right away, and they gave her a few tests, and she failed every single one, and they called the aid car and whisked her off to the hospital. And I was out of town when all of this was happening. I mean, I wasn't too far away, but I was over on the peninsula, and we lived in the Seattle area, so I was across Puget Sound. So I get this phone call, and back then cell coverage wasn't what it was now. So I get a phone call, and she leaves me a message, and she says she's in the emergency department at the hospital and she's having a heart attack. And when I finally got that voicemail, I just went into a full-on panic. So I raced across the sound as fast as I could, which was not fast because I had to wait for the ferry. And I called her, and I mean, it was a shock to the system, and I was beside myself. She was still in the emergency department hours later. They hadn't moved her into a room yet because they were trying to stabilize her. So she ended up having stents put in, and I essentially became her caregiver. So that was 2013. I was 31, and she spent Mother's Day weekend in the hospital recovering from having the stents put in. And then I brought her home, and I was her caregiver all that summer and into the fall. So I worked from home full time. And back then, that was not the norm. We're talking over 10 years ago, well before COVID. But my company allowed me to work remote full time. So I would spend all day going to doctor's appointments and whatnot. And then in the evening, around 4 o'clock, 4 in the afternoon, I would jump on the computer and work until midnight. And that was my days for a while. So that kind of sets up for the next chapter, which I will get to in the next video. I'll warn you, it's going to start off sad again, and you can probably guess what's coming. Just know that it was a long time ago now, and I'm okay, but I will pick that up next week when I come back for more of why I budget. For now, I want to thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below so I know you were here. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until I see you in the next one, take care.